Today's all about redos. You know, it just happens sometimes. This is one of my first hollow forms, and I've never really been happy with it. I just don't really like that shape. And it's really heavy, and it's turned relatively thick, and this walnut deserves a much better treatment than that. It's got some amazing figure. This was a piece of a crotch. You can see the feathering right here. This walnut tree came down on a house during Hurricane Katrina, and my brother went and took a crew to Louisiana and cut this tree off the house. Asked me if I wanted some of it, and I said, well, sure. I love turning walnut. So today we're going to, I'm going to turn this into something that what it should have been in the first place. I'm going to do something with this top, so I'm going to save it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll figure that out as we go or later. But what I'm going to do, we've got a check right here. So I'm going to chuck it up, and I'm going to part this off right here. I'm going to cut me a mortise in the bottom while I've got it chucked up. Then I'm going to part it off, and we'll turn this into a better looking bowl. It's got some amazing, there's some curl right here. It's got some amazing figure in it, and I'll give it a proper finish. So let's get over the lathe and make this pretty. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is cut me a mortise, and then I'll dovetail it. My Forstner bit's dull, so I'll do it the old-fashioned way. That should work. I'll take my thin Carter & Sons parting tool, and we'll part this off. I'm not going to go all the way through, at least I hope not. I want to get really close and then finish it with a handsaw. At least that's the goal. Wow, I left that wall a whole lot thicker than I thought. Through now, finally. Oh wow, that's a whole lot thicker than I thought I left it. But I'm glad I did. What, Billy? Yeah, I really am. I'm glad I did. This will let me shape this much better. No wonder it was so heavy. But that gives me enough left here to do something pretty nice with. Clean this up real quick before I take it off. Much better. Now I'll take this off and we'll save this for something. I don't know what yet, but something. Let's see what we can do. I think I'm going to leave that outside pretty much like it is now. It could be better, but it's better than it was. And the only reason I'm leaving it like this is because I don't want to waste any more of this than I have to. Before I switch to the inside, I'm going to refill some of these cracks with black Starbond. Starbond Premium Superglues. Use the link in the description below and you'll save 15% on your order. No code to enter, just click that link. I'll let that dry for a little while. I'll come back. This one is too deep, it goes all the way through, so I'm going to have to wait till I'm working on the inside of this to tape that off and fill it. Okay, now I'm going to spend quite a bit of time sanding the outside of this, and the reason is because I just really need to. So this is what it's going to look like. And I'll sand in reverse. It's going to look like that. And like I said, this is going to take a while. I'll come back when I'm done. I'm going to sand this up through 600. Okay, I actually stopped at 180 because I've still got some cracks to fill over here on the outside. And a couple of them I'm going to have to wait till I get this thin enough that I can back it up on the inside. Man, this has some pretty good, see all that curl? That's just awesome. It's got some pretty figure in it. Okay, let's get to working on the inside. Face shield on a little bit, about 960. Use my homemade calipers and check my depth. I mean my thickness. Okay, here. I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm seriously, because of the size of this foot, this bowl is just over 9 inches wide. This foot is about 3.5 inches. So I'm seriously considering making a pedestal for the bottom of this bowl. I think it would give it a prettier look, and I think I may use SIPO. This is just something I'm thinking about right now. We'll see. I like the shape of this bottom the way it is. It's got a gradual feed down into there. Alright, got a fresh edge on the scraper. That's better. before I worked on the inside anymore. Let me put some shellac on the inside, and then I'll let that dry, and I'll put me some blue tape here so I can fill this. Do you see that? All of that curl and figure and plane and feathering. All right, I'm gonna let this dry a while, and then I'll tape it up and fill these cracks. And when I'm ready to work on that, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my tape in here, so let's see if we can get this filled. And when I get this taken care of, I'll come back. Okay, this has moved on me since yesterday. So I'm going to sand this back again. I'm going to take it to 600 inside and out. And when I get that done, I'll come back. It's really smooth. I'm going to use Mylan's nitrocellulose sanding sealer. This is just so pretty. So I'm gonna let this dry a little while, and I'll knock it back with some 600, and I'm basically done with this part. I will take this out of the chuck off camera in the same method that I do my bowl from a board. I made a pedestal for this bowl out of CPO. So after I sand this back with 600, what I'm going to do is turn it around in the cold jaws and flatten this bottom up, and then I will glue this to the bottom. And then we'll finish shaping the base or the pedestal and get it in the same condition as the rest of the bowl, and we'll finish this baby up. Okay, I've got the base glued up. It's been drying overnight. I made it the same way I make my board from a bowl, or bowls from a board. So just quickly, I'm going to run a little hot glue around this. I don't need it going all the way around because I'm not going to put that much pressure on it. So I'm going to put it in 4 places. Besides, this Gorilla Glue holds true really well. So I'll let that dry a little while, and when that's set up nicely, then I will true this up and shape it, flatten the bottom off, and then put the bowl back on in the cold jaws, true the bottom of it up, and then we'll marry these two together. And I'll finish up by shaping and sanding this. Let's see if we can shape this up some. First thing we have to do is get it round. So it's about round. Now let's start shaping that. We're going to have to flatten that off, but I want to figure out what shape I want on this. I'll be parting this off about right here. I know that, but do I want any coves or beads or whatever in here? The bowl is relatively plain and tall, so I think I just want this to mimic what the bowl itself looks like to a degree. So I think plain is the answer. I will continue sanding like that through 600, and then we will put the bowl in the cold jaws, flatten the bottom of it off, and glue these two together. So when I'm ready to do that, I'll come back. Okay, got it sanded to 600. I'm applying some Mylan's sanding sealer again to the base this time. This CPO is really pretty stuff. Alright, I'll let this sanding sealer dry, and then I'll cut it back with 4 and 600 again, and then we'll put the bowl back over here. We got this in the cold jaws. I'm going to true this up and flatten this bottom. Well, let's glue it up and see what we can do. Grain running straight up and down, straight up and down. I don't know how close or off it is, but we will deal with that as necessary after it glues up. I'll turn this down to match it. I've got enough meat there. I've got the grain running the same direction, so I'll let this sit up overnight and we'll go from there. Okay, face shield on. Let me see if I can work on this shape some. I think I want to put a bead here. That's what I'm going to try anyway, and we'll see how it looks. Now, this is not near in the shape I wanted, but mercy, don't you make things difficult for yourself, Bill. Alright, that's better. What are we going to do to get down in there? So I found this scrap that is angled, and I glued some 40 grit to it. I hate having to resort to this, but I don't have any tools that'll get down in here fine enough, that are sharp enough, that I'm not worried about breaking if I get a catch. And the way my day's been going, that would happen. So I'm going to it's getting the job done though. Okay, now I want to reverse the process and sand over here, but I think I can do this with 80. When I get this all sanded up and I'm ready to take this off and finish the bottom, I'll come back. Okay, I've been sanding on this thing for an hour, and I can't, because of this, I can't sand these sanding scratches out because I can't use any kind of inertia sander or drill to get in there to get it. And it doesn't matter what I do, I end up with sanding scratches that I'm not happy with. I got it down to only one, except here in the base, and as you can see, there are scratches everywhere. So I'm just not happy. I'm gonna take a break and try to calm down. Right now I'm at the stage where I'm seriously considering parting this off and being done with this bolt. So I'll be back. So I'm putting some myelin sanding sealer on it. Right after that dries, I'll knock it back to 4 and 600 again. All right, let's see what we can do with this bottom. I'm going to pray this doesn't come loose. Almost got it. Okay, I want to do one more thing. I'm not going to be working in there. That's where my logo goes. Alright, I'll continue with this process up through 600. I'll be back. Okay, except for glue it in my logo and spraying the finish on it, it's done. I applied some Mylans in here and then knocked everything back with white Scotch Brite, and it's ready for final finish. So we'll get it out of the chuck, take it over to the finish table, and get at it. Alright, I'm going to hit this with a couple of coats of gloss. I put some painter's tape in here because I don't want to have to try to stick the logo, my coin, to the lacquer. You don't need to. Alright, I'll let that set a half hour and we'll come back and do it until I'm happy with it. Okay, the lacquer on this has been curing for about a week, so it's time to buff it out. And like I often do, I'm going to use Abrasive paste. Work it in a little bit first. Start breaking this down. Breaking down some of the abrasives a little bit. Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice. Alright, coming back clean. That looks really good. I like it. It's nice and smooth. Didn't hurt the gloss of the lacquer at all. Let this build up some heat. Not enough to melt the lacquer, just enough to get that wax to do its thing. Okay, I'm really happy with that. Before I turn it around, I'm going to let this cool down and harden up, and then I'll turn it around and we'll do the inside and the outside up here. Before I turn this around, I'm going to glue my logo coin in. Use Starbond Thick CA. Click the link below, save 15% on your order. Hit that with some activator. Alright, I'll get this situated, I'll come back. And I forgot to hit record. I've got it centered and buffed it out with Abrasive paste, and I just used the polish. I did exactly the same thing you saw me do on the outside or on the bottom. Do need to buff that back out now. So I will let this cool down and harden up some. I'm not happy with the inside of this at all. That wax got streaky and I don't know why. Pretty piece of crotch walnut. It's got some amazing figure in it, and I don't know if y'all can see this. You're going to go watch that in that curl. That's just really nice. really pretty. And the chatoyance in the Sipo bottom is nice as well. I'm not sure I like this shape, but I like it better than I did before I cut the top off. I mean, if you remember, the walls were really, really thick. This was the top. So I've reduced it in diameter by about 3/4 of an inch to get it nice and round. I didn't want to lose any more of the crotch flame than necessary, and you can see that flame right here, or the feather, some people call it. In this case, it looks more feathery than flamey, but it's nice nonetheless. One limb here, one limb there, the trunk, the main branch that way. So I like it. What's next? I don't have any idea yet. Right now I'm busy trying to do some cleaning in here, make the messy studio a little less messy.